RTX 50 series, is it worth it? So with the release of the RTX 50 series, including the RTX 5090 and the RTX 5080's release, it's kind of making people a little bit questionable about whether they should get the graphics card or not. Well, here's the answer. When it comes to the 5090 and the 5080, which was recently released, the performance-wise, it's really not that great, with the 5090 being only 10%-ish or less, more or less, in terms of performance, comparison to the 4090, and for the 4080, for the 5080 being only like less than 8% comparing to the 4080 Super, which makes it feel like it's a 4080 Ti Super, whatever. It's honestly is disappointing. So what about the rest? We're not sure about the rest of the graphics card other than the 5090 and the 5080, but we do know about the price point for the 5070 and the 5070, which is $750 and $550 respectively. And long story short, knowing how the performance of those graphics cards, the 5080 and 5090 was, we're going to assume that there isn't that much of an upgrade comparing to the 4070 and the 4070 Ti. But long story short, other than also the 5060 and the 5050 being just a disappointment right out of the gate without even knowing about the price point and the performance, and no one's going to buy it in the first place. The only one I would probably recommend would be the 5070 and the 5070 Ti for those who actually had an old graphics card or a graphics card that had less VRAM. So that's including the 3070, which, the previous 3070 was 8 gigs. So going from a 5070 or 5070 Ti would be a great upgrade, at least a little bit, not to that extent. Or if you had an older graphics card, so a 2070 as an example. Other than that, I actually don't see the point of getting a 50 series. I generally think it's a waste of money. And yes, I know they've been doing the whole shortage of stocks just to make people think that it's actually a good thing and it's actually a good device, which indeed it's not. They're not making that many pieces, and also, in fairness, scalpers and all that kind of made it a little bit hard to get. But other than that, it's honestly a really disappointing release. They did do a good job on the price point, only to give a really bad performance. And this is the first time they actually give a bad performance, especially since each graphical generation, new graphics card in general, they make a better performance, but this time it's actually bad. That's concerning. Long story short, don't get the 50 series unless you want to, then maybe the 5070 or the 5070 Ti. But that's all I can think of. Or just go with a 4070 or 40 series in general if you can if you're able to find one.